Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Perry, for what purpose?
Questions for the gentlelady?
Laubenberg, do you yield?
Yes.
Lady yields.
Representative Laubenberg, I appreciate your efforts and energies on this bill. I just have a few questions to try to clear up some of the things that we've said or heard said. And they may need to be answered by a physician or someone up there that's got some medical experience. So don't be bashful and just deferring to them.
Okay.
Are there complications with the morning after pill?
There have been complications, yes.
And so having a physician administer that is very appropriate from that perspective, that once there is a complication, maybe someone could explain what those complications may be or what that would involve or why that would be required.
Yes, because there can be complications with hemorrhaging, with infection. So, and we have a nurse here if you'd like to.
It doesn't work, basically. If the pill didn't work, then that's when the problems.
If it didn't fully work, the FDA actually recommends that it not be given past 49 days. But I know that Planned Parenthood, in their literature, recommends that it can be given up to 63 days. So you're going beyond. If you administer it to a woman past the FDA recommendation, then you could potentially be opening it up to complications that would require more attention. And then under the current system, if that were the case, they would end up in the ER room more likely and possibly beyond help that had they gotten earlier by a doctor they were supervised under, they may have prevented long-term damage, such as maybe the inability to have kids down the road. Absolutely.
So HB2 fixes that problem, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Okay, it addresses that.
Yes, it does.
There's been a lot of discussion that we're actually prohibiting abortions in Texas across the board, and that's just factually not accurate. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. You are correct.
Okay. Would it be correct in saying that the increase in cost can be covered by the fact that...
Representative Stickland raised his point of order. Lady's time expired. Point of order will take and sustained.
Okay.
Following amendment, clerk read the amendment. Ms. Alvarado, for what purpose?
Yes, I wanted to ask the gentlelady a couple of questions. I'd like to request an extension of time.
Members, this first extension of time is objection. Chair is none. So ordered. Laubenberg, do you yield the question?
Yes.
Lady yields.
Representative Laubenberg, I have just two questions. One is just a clarification. Does your bill require that a woman who wants RU-486 abortion to take both pills at an abortion facility in the presence of her doctor?
That is correct.
Where is that in the bill? Because I did look through your bill and I couldn't find that.
Okay. Yeah. It says that it must follow the FDA protocol, which, let me, hang on. Give me a second, would you please?
Okay.
Oh, hang on. Oh, hold on. Number 2. Yeah, I got it. Hold on. Here we go. Page 10, number 2. Line 2. Where is it? Okay, on page 10.
Okay.
Beginning with line 9. Except as otherwise provided by subsection D, the provision, prescription, administration of the abortion-inducing drug satisfies the protocol tested and authorized by the United States Food and Drug Administration as outlined in the final printed label. Now, if you look at the FDA, I went on their website, and if you look at the FDA protocol, which the bill refers to, it does say that it is a 3-visit procedure. Day 1, the patient must read, sign medication guides, first dose of the pills administered. Then 2 days later, or day 3, patient returns to the facility to orally take the second dosage. At that point, the patient should be given the name and phone number of the physician handling emergencies arising from the abortion. Then, third follow-up, day 14, follow-up to the facility using an sonogram scan to ensure that the entire pregnancy has been terminated.
Okay, my concern is for a woman who has to travel, say, 75 or 100 miles, because I think in the sonogram bill there was an exemption for women who lived 100 miles away from a facility. So if your bill passes, then a woman who wants to undergo the RU-486 would have to go to to the ambulatory service center for the sonogram. Then she'll have to wait 24 hours. Then she'll have to go back to the clinic to take the first pill. Then she'll have to go back to the clinic again within the next 2 days to take the second pill. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, what was your question?
I was just given the chronology. If your bill passes, the burden that a woman would have to undergo going to the ASC for the sonogram, waiting the 24 hours, then going back to the clinic for the first pill, then having to go back to the clinic again within the next 2 days to take the second pill.
Mm-hmm. The whole purpose is, this is a very serious procedure, a very serious decision, and so following the FDA guidelines is going to be for the benefit of the woman.
But if you're talking about after we've closed these 37 clinics and a woman has to travel, say, 100 miles to one of the 5 clinics that would be remaining in our state, that's putting a burden on that woman who has to go back for the second pill, wait. There's waiting times, there's a second visit, and that's my concern.
And I appreciate that, Representative Alvarado. Again, you know, this is going to be, you said something earlier, you know, that, you know, the woman is having to return, but undergoing this. Oh, you made a comment that these facilities will be closing. And again, no facility is going to be forced to close. They will have over a year to raise their standards. And if the woman is going back, which is good that she would go back, if there were complications, they will be better equipped to be able to help her and handle those complications. I think any time that a woman has that extra assurance is always a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm just concerned that your bill is putting obstacles for women who want to who made a choice, a very personal choice, to get a procedure done that is a very legal procedure, but this bill is putting in obstacles and challenges and economic constraints for women that have to travel a long distance.
The only obstacle that I am specifically addressing is the 5-month ban. That is the only part of this bill that will actually stop an abortion. The other parts of the bill truly are to make sure that when the woman is undergoing this very serious procedure, that she's doing it in the best environment possible.
And that's the goal of your bill, is to reduce abortions in Texas or to eliminate them altogether?
My goal in this bill is to stop abortion at 5 months based on the pain, based on the science and technology that we have today that we did not have 40 years ago. That is my purpose.
Representative Laubenberg, I would hope, too, that you are concerned about the overall health and safety of women. I've served with you on the Public Health Committee, and I know that you are a person that cares about women and the overall health and safety.
And I would agree with you.
Okay. But Representative Farrar, when she was asking her question about the undue burden on women, when you close all of these clinics, you've reduced it to 5, that you are putting an undue burden on women. Wouldn't you agree?
Representative Alvarado, you're going on the premise that abortion clinics will close. I disagree with you. I do not believe they will close. There is nothing in this bill that mandates or forces them to close. Raising their standards will not force them to close.
So you don't think that your bill in any way, shape, or form by putting in implications that would cause clinics to close because they can't afford to transition into what your bill requires, then the end result is reducing it to 5 clinics and therefore jeopardizing women's overall health for the other services that women may want to go to these clinics for, that it does put an undue burden on women.
In other states, the abortion clinics that have had to raise up their standards, they have risen their standards. They have not closed.
Thank you for your answers.
Thank you.